Welcome back to Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm your host, Shan Santura, and this is where we actually talk about all the sports we can do here in our home country, Indonesia. So what sport we're going to do today? Well, check this out. Okay guys, of course we're actually going to be talking about Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Now Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is actually all about defense turning into attack. People in martial arts always think about attacking in martial arts, but never about defending. So this theme is actually all about lockdown martial arts. So Brazilian Jiu Jitsu is all about locking your opponents up. So here are some of the sports that are actually just like Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Check this out.
Fighting was something that had existed since ancient times. In ancient times, people were familiar with the fighting using their bare hands, sticks, stones, bones, and spears as weapons for self-defense. Gradually, eventually, the ancient people began to give birth to martial arts forms, ways of fighting, self-defense systems to mixed martial arts and sports. Martial arts itself is a physical activity that provides comprehensive benefits for health. Almost all types of martial arts have special techniques to kill people, even though the basic knowledge is only used to protect oneself from attacks by opponents. Over time, variants of martial arts can be found in various parts of the world, from Japan, Brazil, Korea, America, and not to mention Indonesia. Of the various types of martial arts that exist, there are martial arts that focus on locking techniques. This martial art has recently been quite popular with ordinary people and has been widely studied as an effort to protect themselves from the dangers that lurks in public places. So what sport is it? Japanese martial arts Jiu Jitsu is well known in Indonesia. Initially, this martial art was used as a complementary technique for samurai. But over time, the martial art of Jiu Jitsu was utilized as a sport with bare hands. Jiu Jitsu is a martial art whose focus is to lock the opponents. In this martial art, as a fighter applies movements that can take advantage of the opponent so that the opponent feels pain is some movement. In addition, this sport also makes the opponent unable to move. Judo is a sport that also comes from the land of Sakura, Japan. Judo is a root of karate martial arts. Judo emphasizes throwing and locking techniques. Judo uses the opponent's momentum to slam him and then lock him. So ideally, the small person can also slam the big person. Currently, Judo has been competed in the Olympics and is used by police in various countries as its official martial arts. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was popularized in Brazil by Mitsuyo Maeda, who emphasized defense in combat. Someone who uses this technique will dominate in close-range floor combat. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu can be deadly because it locks the opponent's joints very tightly. This martial art technique is also widely used in the MMA fights. MCMAP stands for Marine Corps Martial Arts Program, which was developed by the United States Marine Corps. The MCMAP is a melee martial arts for disarming enemies or fighting unarmed enemies. MCMAP teaches Marines only to paralyze enemies and as much as possible not to use lethal techniques. This martial arts has mixed techniques from Okinawan karate, taekwondo, kung fu, boxing, and jiu-jitsu. Sambo is a self-defense technique from Russia and the only martial art that is close to Krav Maga. This martial art developed in the 1920s and has been deadly moves because it has been inherited other martial arts techniques such as Kodokan, Judo, Jiu Jitsu, and others. Those are the types of martial arts that has focused on locking techniques. Apart from improving physical and mental health, martial arts can also be an additional skill as a form of defense and protecting oneself from bad people.
Okay guys, so currently now I'm actually at the Tapout Fitness in South Jakarta. Now we're actually about to train Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Very excited for this one. But before we do, go check out some of the histories about Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, or BJJ, is a martial art discipline that focuses on ground fighting, aka ground combat. This discipline was first popularized in Brazil and is development of the Kodokan Judo martial art pioneered by Mitsuyo Maeda with the Gracie family. From the Gracie family, driven by brothers Carlos Gracie and Helio Gracie, they continue to develop the sport. The result makes many people interested. Moreover, they dare to challenge champions from other martial arts in official combat. One of the most famous fights that invited thousands of spectators was when Helio fought a judo champion from Japan, which Helio won successfully. Since then, Gracie Brothers Schools has begun to accept many students. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu itself, although it looks simple, is actually very dangerous because it can break people's bones easily, and even probably kill your opponents. This martial art emphasizes the elements of the ground fighting. According to Helio Gracie, street fighting is always divided into 3 phases, namely fighting, wrestling, and fighting on the floor. Almost all street fights must go through these 3 phases. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu can condense this phase down to its 3rd one. So that makes it easy for those who don't have a strong punch or quick reflexes. Although popular in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu itself, it's not necessarily popular in other countries. In fact, many people underestimated this science. In 1993, the currently very famous martial arts tournament called the UFC, or the Ultimate Fighting Championship, held free fights without rules. The Gracie family sent their youngest son named Royce Gracie, who was the biological son of Helio Gracie. At this first UFC championship, all the audience underestimated Royce because he has the smallest body posture among other fighters. But Royce beats them all with the martial arts created by his father and uncle. From then on, the world began to recognize Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Since the UFC, this knowledge has been considered as a standard that must be owned by every martial art. Many martial art athletes, celebrities, and other fighters are really deep into the science. Gracie's family also travels the world to teach their knowledge. Apart from being very dangerous in martial arts competitions, this knowledge is also very suitable for ordinary people to practice as a safe martial art and does not need to be injured. Therein lies the uniqueness of the martial art. It can be used in any condition, whether it's a tough street battle or just calming down a friend who's raging because he's drunk without having to hurt him. So, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is perfect for anyone to learn. Started from the martial art themselves, ordinary people, children, women who are useful to protect themselves from harassment of rape, or even for the disabled.
Okay, Spolo, so of course Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is actually based off Jiu Jitsu, that is the development from Japan. Now of course, we're also wondering, and I would like to know as well, how did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu actually become a thing? And what's the difference between Jiu-Jitsu and BJJ? So, I'm actually about to interview an expert right now, so let's find out. Okay guys, I'm actually back here with one of the managers of Tapout Fitness in South Jakarta. What's your name, ma'am?
Hi, my name's Elisa.
Elisa, okay. We're actually gonna talk more about the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and talking about what the theme is. Apparently the theme is called the lockdown sports. Lockdown, so we actually, any sports or any martial arts that involves us actually locking down our opponent.
That's right.
But first, I actually want to talk about how did this Jiu-Jitsu classes, the idea came about?
Okay, so when we decided to open up Tapout Fitness here in Indonesia, we saw that there's a big market here available for self-defense. People are starting to realize that it's not just for athletes, but it's for the everyday people, and anybody from adults to kids can get into it, and we thought it'd be a great addition to add to the Tapout Fitness itself.
What other classes do you guys have here in Tapout Fitness?
Okay, so we wanted to people that likes different types of sports and workouts. So we have strength conditioning. That's, of course, you have the strength and the conditioning for people that actually do Jiu-Jitsu also. They kind of mix it all together. We have kickboxing, we have functional training. So any type of workouts that you want, we got.
Okay, so what facilities have we got here?
So basically we have the different sorts of exercises that members can do. If you're into functional training, we have the tap-out classes available. And if you want to do more of the self-defense, then we have the BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu side, or you can do both. And of course, with that, you get experience and you get the trainers and such. So yeah.
This place actually got a little bit like a gym as well for weights training.
Yes, we have the free weights for the functional training, for the classes.
Okay, so in this place is more like you can actually join classes or even train yourself.
You can, but we're more focused for the group training classes.
Yeah.
So most of the members are here for group training, but then if you got some that are just wanting to do your own workouts and make your own programs, of course you can do that too.
Okay, so what about your, let's say, students or your clients? So are they more females, males?
So for the functional training, it's basically divided equally between the females and the males.
Right.
That's for the kickboxing, the boxing, the functional training, strength conditioning. For the Jiu-Jitsu, actually when we first started, it was mostly dominated by the males. But then, surprisingly, nowadays we're seeing a lot more females getting into it, and they're bringing their female friends, and they're now addicted to the sport too. So, yeah, we got a lot more females in Jiu-Jitsu now too.
It's good that you say that, because I do personally believe it's very important for females to do some sports like this.
Yes.
Just so they can protect themselves, and just shows that, hey, girls do have power.
Yeah, the females here, I think they feel the empowerment that they get from knowing self-defense.
Yeah.
Even me personally, ever since I started learning Jiu-Jitsu, I feel a lot more safer. I can protect myself more knowing Jiu-Jitsu a little bit.
It's more like investing in yourself,
Yes,
really.
yes.
Okay, so in your opinion now, we've actually checked into the stats. Martial arts actually started growing by the day here in Indonesia. Why do you think that is, you personally, in your own opinion?
So I think nowadays people are starting to realize, like back in the days, they would just only watch it on TV and they'll see all the athletes competing and stuff. But I think they're finally now seeing that you don't have to be an athlete to practice. Like you can actually, regular everyday people, office goers and stuff, can even do competitions just because it's their hobby and they're starting to realize that they're good at it, and so they can join. So it's not just for the full-time athletes, it's just for the, everyday people can join in and do it too.
Okay, so for you personally, I know that you got a little bit of passion for, self-defense and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. What are your hopes about the growth of the sport itself, martial art itself? in here in Indonesia?
Well, I just hope that more and more people are starting to, see the importance of it and the fun in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that, more awareness is spread, and so more people and more athletes can start trying it out.
I'm excited to actually try this out.
Yes, I'm excited for you to try.
I've been trying to find Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu all over Indonesia. I just couldn't find it.
Yeah, well, we got the best professor with us from Alliance School. So he was one of the very first black belts here in Indonesia, and I think he's the only black belt with the number of the degrees on his belt. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Alisa, I'd just like to say we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for showing us and inviting us to the BJJ class that's going to start really soon. All the success for this gym, and hopefully the growth of BJJ and all self-defense comes alive here in Indonesia very soon.
Thank you for coming. Enjoy the class.
Thank you, I'm excited. Okay, Swallows, don't go anywhere because we've still got plenty more ahead of you. And don't forget, there's some BT coming your way right now.
Who doesn't know Judo? This martial art originating from Japan is indeed very famous. This martial art really needs strength and balance so that it's not easily dropped. In the past, Judo was used to protect oneself in the event of a threat, but it is different now that it is used as a competition. Judo was first competed in during the biggest sport event in which was the world, namely the Olympics, which was held in Tokyo in 1964.
Judo itu salah satu olahraga bela diri dari asal Jepang. Kemudian judo ini sudah menjadi salah satu cabang olahraga Olimpiade juga dari sejak 1964 lah sampai sekarang masih bertahan prestasinya. Kemudian judo itu sudah menyebarluaskan kira-kira 150 negara lah. Jadi sudah mulai sangat populer. Kalau menurut saya salah satu olahraga bela diri yang paling populer dan sukses di mancanegara ini.
Judo itself consists of two words in Japanese, namely ju, which means soft, and do, which means way. So judo can be interpreted as the path of gentleness. But make no mistake, even though it has a gentle meaning, the movements in judo are full of power. The techniques used are usually able to drop opponents quickly without weapons. Judo is a martial art that uses energy to slam opponents. Apart from slamming sweeps and locks to drop and defeat opponents are also interesting techniques.
Judo ini kompleks nih. Ada bantingannya, throwing, kemudian teknik bawah, purugumuram, patahan sendi, bahkan cekikan. Ini semua tekniknya harus bisa menguasai gitu ya, sebagai atletnya. Ya itulah kompleksnya lah itulah.
Judo uniforms have a variety of belts. Colors can be white, brown, and black based on dan or degree, and Q or level, which is a ranking of members that can be changed according to ability.
Sabuk ini yang penting ada beberapa warna ditingkatkan. Yang sudah diresmi adalah merah, putih, merah, hitam. Saya pakai coklat, sabuk putih. Antara sabuk putih dan coklat bisa beberapa warna-warni. Ini untuk memberikan motivasi anak-anak. Tapi secara resmi sabuk merah murni ini untuk dan 9 dan 10 seperti dewan lah. Kemudian dan 6 dan 7 dan 8 ini merah putih. Tapi kalau putih merah putih itu boleh pakai sabuk hitam juga. Jadi saya dan 7 masih pakai sabuk hitam. Kemudian dan 1 sampai dan 6 dan 5 sabuk hitam. Seperti itulah, ada tingkatannya.
The goal of judo is and immobilizes the opponent. More deeply, the main goal of judo is to achieve physical, mental, and spiritual fitness. Not surprisingly, judo techniques can be provisioned for someone in everyday life, such as how to fall properly to various forms of physical threats.
Untuk melindungi diri sendiri, misalnya jatuh atau tabrak atau gimana, kita harus menahan leher, hati, jantung, nah seperti itu. Bagaimana jatuhnya dengan selamatnya, seperti ini esensi judonya sudah ada. Kemudian kalau untuk bela diri dari ancaman atau apa, ini tergantung punya skill nggak atau tidak. Jadi kalau memantapkan yang untuk sebagai teknik bela diri, ya kita harus benar-benar membedahi gitu. Tapi minimal dengan dasarnya saja untuk melindungi diri sendiri bisa.
Anzai Toshiya, one of the men from Japan, wants to develop judo here in Indonesia. Through the Jakarta, Japan Judo Club, founded by Japanese people, but now this club is also followed by Indonesians and foreigners. The establishment of the Jakarta, Japan Judo Club was based as a forum for people who like judo. But now not only ordinary people and beginners are practicing, but athletes who have been involved in various national and international competitions.
Ini namanya Jakarta Japan Judo Club. Jadi diawaki oleh orang Jepang. Di sini sudah orang Indonesianya ada, orang asingnya juga ada. Kami sama siapa saja yang penting pecinta judo kumpul di sini. Kami hanya memberikan kesempatan latihan hari Minggu. Namun demikian kami punya pemuda-pemula, orang tua masih muda, putri-putra, bahkan atlet tingkat nasional maupun internasional. Contoh banyak juara PON, juara SEA Games juga seperti itu.
One of the athletes who trains at the Jakarta, Japan Judo Club is Dita Ananda. Dita has now transformed into a professional athlete, starting from school-level competitions to experiencing the highest competitions such as the National Sports Week.
Pada saat itu saya masih kelas 5 SD. Nah, terus kebetulan ada orang yang membuka ekskul judo di sekolah saya dan pada saat itu judo kan belum menjadi olahraga yang awam ya, maksudnya belum banyak yang mengenal olahraga judo, jadi pasti banyak dari kita yang penasaran banget. Dari situlah mulai coba terus ya enjoy, akhirnya sampai sekarang. Saya ikut coba bertanding, pertamanya pasti kalah, terus masih penasaran, coba lagi, menang juara 3 di kejuaraan antar daerah, maksudnya di se-DKI, terus masuk lagi ke tim Pelatda, menang lagi, sampai akhirnya masuk tim DKI Jakarta untuk PON. Jadi akhirnya dari situ sudah mulai terikat menjadi tim judo DKI Jakarta gitu.
When talking about judo, there are judo techniques that needs attention and training. On this occasion, Dita shared her experience by explaining techniques in judo fighting.
Judo itu kan basically tekniknya bantingan ya, ada bantingan, ada cekikan juga, patahan, dan kuncian. Biasanya begitu sih, bagaimana kita bisa menjatuhkan lawan dengan nilai yang sempurna, atau bisa mendapat nilai telak juga, misalnya seperti bisa mencekik lawan sampai pingsan, atau misalnya ketika kita mengambil teknik patahan dia bisa patah, ya itu kita hitungannya udah menang sih. Kalau dari banting itu tergantung posisinya, ketika lawannya bisa jatuhnya, posisi punggungnya ada di bawah gini, itu kita mendapat nilai sempurna 20. Kalau misalnya ketika kita jatuhkan lawan, terus dia badannya miring, atau ada beberapa posisi lain yang hitungannya nilainya itu cuma dapat setengah poin gitu. Jadi kita harus mencari 2 kali supaya bisa dapat nilai sempurna. Kalau kuncian itu hitungan poinnya ketika kita bisa mengunci lawan, dan lawannya tidak bisa membalikan badannya, lalu dihitung sampai 20 detik. Kalau misalnya 20 detik kita bisa mengunci lawan, itu kita sudah menang nilai sempurna atau disebutnya ipong. Kalau misalnya kita bisa mengunci lawan tapi hanya sampai 10 detik aja, itu hitungannya kita dapat setengah poin atau bisa disebut wasari. Kalau cekikan atau patahan itu nilainya lebih ke nilai mutlak sih. Misalnya lawannya menyerah, atau lawannya pingsan dicekik, atau lawannya patah ketika dipatahin, itu kita otomatis sudah dapat nilai sempurna. Tapi kalau lawannya memang tidak menyerah dan dia bisa nahan, terus itu kan juga ada waktunya ketika diambil teknik itu. Dia bisa, misalnya lawannya bisa menahan dan waktunya habis, berarti kita tidak dapat nilai apa-apa.
Both Dita and Sensei Anzai have their own hopes in the world of judo. Dita wants to give the best results for DKI Jakarta in every tournament she participates in. Meanwhile, Sensei Anzai hope that more and more people would like judo in Indonesia.
Harapannya pasti, harapan saya semoga bisa memberikan kontribusi yang baik untuk DKI Jakarta dengan memberikan hasil atau medali yang terbaik sih.
kami memberikan kesempatan latihan judo terbuka pada hari Minggu. Hari Minggu kan sebenarnya hari libur, tapi mau cari keringat, kami juga harus meningkatkan menu atau pemberian teknik-teknik atau materinya. Kemudian setelah itu yang terima latihan kami atau ikut latihan ini bisa meningkatkan baik segi teknik judonya maupun kehidupan sehari-harinya lebih kaya gitu sepertinya karena judo atau mentalnya kuat atau fisiknya lebih kuat. Ini sih nggak biasa sih.
Well, sport lovers, even though it is still seen as a minority sport in Indonesia, I hope judo in Indonesia can continue to grow considering the many benefits that exist in judo itself.
Okay guys, welcome back. We're still currently here at the Tapout Fitness South Jakarta gym, and of course, we haven't started yet with the BJJ, but before we actually do start with the Brazilian Jiu Jitsu class, I'm here speaking to actually one of the head coaches of the kickboxing. Pharrell, how are you?
Hey, I'm well. How's it going?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you so much for asking. So, okay, so of course you're the head coach of the kickboxing side, and maybe also the fitness, I suppose. So how long have you been the head coach here?
So I've been here head coach it's been 2.5 years. So yeah, it's been quite a while until now.
Until now. All right, Pharrell, can you please just explain to us just a little bit, actually not a little bit, a lot, over what do you actually prioritize and how do you teach people kickboxing? What do you guys have to teach?
Okay, so here in Tapout Fitness, we offer our member group exercise classes. In these classes, we incorporate high-intensity interval training or HIIT and mix with kickboxing training. Okay, so unlike any other gym where they just only do weight training on their high-intensity interval training, we incorporate kickboxing also.
Now, of course, kickboxing and boxing is actually pretty similar in a sense, but what is the difference and what sort of more benefit do kickboxing have over boxing, in your opinion?
Well, in my opinion, kickboxing, I think it incorporates more limbs to exercise because we use 6 points of contact when we do kickboxing exercise. We use our hands, our knees, our kicks, okay, working our flexibility also when you're doing the kick. It's a good cardiovascular health also, but don't get me wrong, in boxing here, we also teach boxing here. The only difference is just the different kind of training, like you said before, yeah. Boxing only we use hands, and kickboxing we use hands, knees, and legs to kick. Yeah, that's the only difference.
All right. Okay, so in your own opinion, how important is it for people to actually have kickboxing skills? Like, what are the huge benefits do people get out of it?
Yeah, I think for older people, kickboxing is important for your health-wise, overall health. Works your cardiovascular health, works your flexibility, works your coordination. But besides that, it's important for self-defense technique as well.
Yeah.
And around the streets, maybe you don't know what happens. At least you know how to defend themselves. And here we also teach technique that can apply to self-defense situations on the streets. So I think it's important for other people. At least they know how to defend themselves and have a good health also.
Yes. Okay, so I think you're the only one who's qualified to say this because you're a coach. What is the most important thing in kickboxing?
Well, the most important thing in kickboxing is you have to know how to strike.
Okay.
It's a basic thing you have to know. Otherwise, it's not kickboxing. You have to know how to throw basic punch, kicks, knees. If you don't have the experience before, we always can start from the ground here. We welcome all level fitness from every people here. We can teach them from the basics, how to do the technique right, how to do proper. So once you get how to punch, how to throw a kick, how to do the technique right, that's an important thing for the kickboxing, once you know how to strike.
Okay, nice. Okay, Farrell, we really do appreciate your time, man.
Thanks,
you so
man.
much.
Appreciate it. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And of course, hopefully you can grow your kickboxing coaching skills for people who doesn't know, because you're a really good kickboxing coach. So make sure you guys get down and Tapout Fitness South Jakarta. Okay guys, don't go anywhere. We still got plenty more ahead of you. We'll take a quick short break.
Being a celebrity doesn't mean limiting your ability to act or sing publicly. Figures are also free to have interest and abilities in other fields, one of which is martial arts. Not a few Indonesian celebrities fill their free time to practice martial arts and extreme sports, like Deddy Kombuzer's son, Aska Kobuzer, who has the same skills as his father. So who are the Indonesian celebrities who are good at martial arts? Who doesn't know an actor who is good at martial arts? Iko Uwais. Even with his martial arts skills in the Raid, he has even made his way into Hollywood films such as Man of Tai Chi to Expendables 4. It is known that Iko has studied martial arts since he was 10 years old. Thanks to routine training, Iko Uwais has ranked 3rd in the DKI Jakarta level martial arts tournament in 2013. As is the case with Iko Uwais, his skills in martial arts are in the Raid made Joe Taslim the name of the Hollywood film producers. In fact, he had starred in several Hollywood films such as Fast and Furious 6, The Swordsman, and Mortal Kombat. Joe Taslim is not only an expert in one area of martial arts, but several martial arts at the same time such as Taekwondo, Wushu, and Judo. In fact, Joe Taslim won a gold medal at the Southeast Asian Judo Championships in 1999 and a silver medal at the 2007 SEA Games. Randy Pangalila added to the list of the artists who are good at martial arts. He even joined in a mixed martial arts match with fellow celebrities. In less than 4 minutes, Randy was able to defeat his opponent Adi Pawitra and lead him to win 2019 competition. The son and father are known for sharing their MMA training sessions on social media. Deddy Kobuzer has been pursuing this martial arts since 2016 and is actively practicing until now. He is also one of the celebrities who took part in the One Pride MMA fight. He even challenged the One Pride MMA judge, Max Matino. Jeffrey Nicole had a duel with a netizen named Keanu in the ring. The duel was caused by a netizen challenging him on social media. Even so, Jeffrey Nicole only studied martial arts when he was about to play in the film Hit and Run. To deepen his martial art knowledge, Jeffrey even studied with the Uwais team. Mario Lawalata is known as an actor who likes to even play basketball. Even so, he admits that he likes to practice martial arts. He even competed in MMA against Rafi Ahmad in 2011. The two of them has gone through 3 rounds of matches and had to end in draw. Both Mario and Rafi admitted that they were both satisfied with the match. Well, so they are the Indonesian celebrities who have martial arts skills. Not only that they can maintain stamina, martial arts can also lead the actor in a career to the world of foreign cinema.
Welcome back to Sport Lovers. Of course, now after just watching a bit of the BJJ class, I've actually got a member with me, Amanda. Amanda, how are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
All right, so exactly how long, Amanda, have you actually tried Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I've been doing it regularly since July this year, so about, what, 6-7 months now? Yeah.
Oh, 6-7 months.
Yeah.
Okay, and how are you finding it?
It's great. That's
It's
why
great.
I keep turning up.
So what was the reason, what made you actually want to start BJJ?
I first was exposed to BJJ about maybe 10 years ago.
10 years
And
ago,
yeah,
okay.
at the time I was doing a different martial art. So, and I've always found BJJ interesting, but I just didn't have anyone to do it with, and didn't have, I didn't know. But then I found like my friend actually introduced me to this place, and then it's comfortable. So
It's comfortable, yeah, it
like
looks
it's
fun.
a nice environment.
Yeah, it looks like
so
a good
yeah.
environment.
So yeah, I started training regularly.
Okay, nice. So in your own opinion, what are the benefits? What are the main benefits for you personally about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I think the first thing is you definitely get the workout out of it.
Workout, yes.
So it's basically to keep yourself healthy if you like to do that, because I'm more of a hobbyist, so I don't
Right.
I do it to keep myself healthy, and I just enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, they want to maybe master a certain technique,
Yeah.
or they want to compete and all that. So
Okay. Okay, so for you personally, is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu actually really good for, let's say, self-defense? Like, what does it do? How does it make you feel after doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
well, like when you're actually, for self-defense, like when you actually get attacked and things get ripped down to the ground, at least I guess I wouldn't feel too uncomfortable
Right.
being on the ground, and I would know what to do and defend myself. I guess it would be helpful in that way.
Okay, nice. So it's all about defending yourself and getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay, so for you personally, what are your main goals for the sport and of course yourself?
For myself, I know that everybody says that you'll always have a space to learn, like even if you level up with different
Yes.
books. But for me, I think I want to be able to do better and like be actually able to master the sport, like be comfortable with doing it without being confused and all that.
Yeah.
But in general, I hope more people join BJJ.
Okay, man, I just want to say I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for talking to us.
You're welcome.
Thank you for giving up your time after doing some training.
Yep.
I'm actually going to give this sport a try now. Sorry, martial art a try now. But
Okay.
yeah, hopefully I do well, and hopefully I feel exactly how you feel. All right, Spolo, there's still plenty more to come, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Okay, spoilers, welcome back, and now I've got something exciting for you guys. We actually got, believe it or not, the very first person that actually brought Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to Indonesia, am I correct? Yeah, so you're actually 001. So we got the professor here. Yes, Mr. Professor, it's an honor to actually speak to you. I can't wait to learn from you. And first of all, why bring Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to Indonesia?
The reason is back then, it's when I came back from LA. I was studying in LA back in 1993 to 96, and to 98. 98, I was like, when I went back on 98, not many people basically knows about Jiu-Jitsu, and that time it's even in LA, in US. Jiu-Jitsu started to get popular back in around 93 or 94 because of the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship. And that time, it's the winner of the UFC comes from Gracie family, which is Royce Gracie. That's one of the reasons that I try to promote and socialize Jiu-Jitsu in Indonesia, because back then it's nobody knows Jiu-Jitsu. in Indonesia. Yeah.
So did you get Royce Gracie himself here? I saw on TV. Someone looks like Royce Gracie.
When I started learning in LA, I was training with the brother of Royce Gracie.
Okay.
His name is Hickson Gracie. So I start there because at that time even the JJ school in US is not that many. The closest one from my place is actually Hickson Gracie Training Center.
Okay, so of course we just heard the story on how you brought Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to this country. What about the history about the martial art itself?
Okay, so basically Jiu-Jitsu, there's a Japanese fighter who actually migrates to Brazil at that time. His name is Mitsuyo Maeda. So Maeda is very close to one of the politicians, which is, his name is Gastão Gracie. He's trying to promote Japanese Jiu-Jitsu through Gastão Gracie's son, which is one of them is Carlos Gracie, and the other one, it's the younger one was Helio Gracie. But the long story short, when Mitsuyo Maeda teach Jiu-Jitsu to Carlos Gracie and Helio Gracie, Helio cannot keep up because he's a very small guy. He's only 60 kilograms, and he's always sick. He cannot even do pull-ups. And that's why he thinks that Japanese Jiu-Jitsu technique is using too much strength. So he kind of invented a bit. He kind of switch some of the techniques by using a leverage. So for smaller guys to beat the bigger guys, it's actually what he thought is you want to go for clinch, and then you try to bring your opponent to the ground, and then from the ground, then you're gonna do a submission. What is submission? It's like it can be like a joint locks, like a shoulder lock, arm lock, leg locks, and also chokes, you know, like a rear naked choke. Basically, that's how you smaller guys can beat the bigger guys. So again, Helio Gracie, from there, what Helio does in Brazil, back in 1900, Helio Gracie, it's like starting to make a challenge to other martial arts.
Okay, so what about the philosophy about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Can you explain a little bit about that?
So basically the meaning of Jiu-Jitsu, it's like the gentle art, right? If you're trying to use a lot of strength, it's not gonna be happen, right? So the philosophy in Jiu-Jitsu is a gentle art.
Okay, so as we know a little bit, Jiu-Jitsu is actually come from Japan, if I'm not mistaken. So what is the difference actually between Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Jiu-Jitsu itself?
Basically, Jiu-Jitsu comes from Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, right? The difference, it's in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, most of the techniques, it's to try to take you down and then look for submission. They don't actually focusing more on the ground technique, which is in Jiu-Jitsu, after you go for takedown, bring your opponents to the ground, then that's how the game starts, you know? You will try to, what we call, there's a certain position that you have to do, like doing a passing guard, mount position, and you have side control. And from all the dominant position, like mount, side control, back mount, knee on belly and stuff like that, there's always a way to do a submission from that position. That's what makes it different from BJJ, is different than Japanese Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay, so for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu moves, is it pretty dangerous to use on ordinary people, or? I'm very fascinated about this.
Yeah, of course, if you're not learning in the right way, and let's say, for example, apply a choke to someone, right? Do a RNC or rear naked choke. What we always call it a tap out, right? So if the guy already tap out, and then it means you have to let go, right? Even he can say just tap or just verbally say tap out, tap, 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 and then you have to let go. The dangerous part, if you don't let go, actually, if you apply choke to someone, and then you just keep going, and the guys start to pass out, right? Fall asleep, and then you just keep doing it, right? That's the dangerous part.
All right, so can you please, what is the perfect technique for, let's say, rear naked choke first?
I'll show.
You show.
Give you an example first.
It's okay, I trust you.
So usually you got from what we call the sit belt position, right? So I go here, one under the armpit, and one over the shoulder. So my goal is to try to go for rear naked choke. So I'm gonna place my hand on the shoulder, right? Right? So make sure my elbow close to your chin here. Now from here, I just grab the shoulder like this. Then my left hand, I'm gonna put behind the head and grab my own biceps. Imagine from this position, you want to start to, okay, you hunch your back. Then all you have to do, imagine we go like going to a gym, we're doing rowing.
Yeah.
So all you have to, or bench press, all you have to do is just try to open your chest like that, right? So it looks like one, place it on the shoulder, let go, put your hand behind the head and grab your bicep. Now from here, again, hunch your back, then do like a leg press. Oh, sorry, it's like a chest bench press, right? So go like this. You feel choked out, you... Okay, good. Okay, let's try it. You do it to me, eh? Okay, go.
Okay.
So the goal is your chest. Your chest has to be on my upper back always. That's the first thing to control.
Okay.
Right? So you go here. You place this hand on my shoulder,
Yeah.
and the other one is under my armpit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one. Okay. Now from here, all you have to do now just place this hand on my shoulder. So now pull this hand and put it behind my head. Here.
Head.
Yeah, now grab your own biceps. This hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
From here. Okay, now hunch your back. Okay, now imagine like you want to do a bench press. So you want to open your chest.
Okay. I did it.
Nice.
I did it.
In BJJ, sometimes we practice. We also practice with gi, right? What we call the gis. With this gi, we can actually do a lot of many submission also. One of them is we can use the collar, what we call the collar choke. Same position, always get a good control. You want to put for seatbelt position, right? Like we did before. Then from here, you can try to open the collar, and I put my thumbs inside.
Oh.
Say again, so I go this control, right? Now my left hand, I'm gonna grab your other collar here. Now the moves here, I'm gonna turn this one here and put this, and your other collar, I'm gonna put it down here, and then this one you're pulling this way, this one is down. So again, thumbs inside, I grab here. Now I'm gonna do this choke.
Yeah. So
Okay?
it's kind of like you're just kind of like trying to
Yeah.
tear it apart,
Yeah.
but really you're choking them.
Yeah, because imagine if you're on the street and someone wearing a jacket or anything, you can actually apply it. So this technique.
okay.
So it's very useful.
Yes,
Okay?
but only
Yeah, this
do it when you
technique.
guys are in danger.
Yeah.
Okay,
You want to try it? Try it.
Okay, let's do
okay,
this
let's
together.
try it. Yeah. Okay, again.
Okay, so it's basically grabbing here.
Yeah, so you start from the seatbelt position first.
Yeah.
So you go here. Now what you want to do is open my collar with your left hand. Now place your thumbs inside. Yeah, good. Now try to go deeper here. Okay, good. Now from here, what you need to do, this hand, you're going to grab and pull it down. And this one, you pull it to your right side.
So that, okay.
Okay, go. Pull it, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So whoever has a jacket on, don't mess with me. All right, Mr. Professor, Mr. 001 in Indonesia. It's all good. It's all well and good talking about, you know what, I actually feel like I want to learn a bit more. I want to learn a bit more of the techniques. And I don't know, are we able to do some drills?
All right.
Okay, I'm up for that. Okay, let's go.
Okay, nice.
It actually feels a lot more adrenaline when you actually tap someone out, so it feels good. But Mr. Professor, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Teaching us a bit of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, explaining a little bit about the martial art. It was truly an honor, and hopefully I can come back here.
Right.
Maybe when I'm not
Anytime.
working. Anytime.
Yeah.
Okay, Spoilers, that's been an episode of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It was super fun. Make sure you guys get down here at Tapout Fitness, South Jakarta. If you guys, it's truly an amazing place to actually do BJJ. You learn a lot of fun, great community. Well, guys, that's been it. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week. Bye for now. Thank you.